Well, here we are at Ramblin Man Fair, and look who it is. It is the mighty Therapy. Hi, guys.
Hiya.
How you doing?
How are you doing?
Brilliant, yeah. We got here about an hour ago, so we've just been settling in, getting the lie of the land, and we're really excited to play later. Yeah, so all good.
Is it your first time here? Yes.
It is, yes.
And what you got in store for us? What's going to happen out there?
Well, we've got 45 minutes.
It's not long, is it?
It's not long, and we've got 15 albums, so we're going to have to pack all the best of those 15 albums into 15 minutes. But it's a beautiful day. We're on at 4 o'clock, which is a perfect time, so really, really excited.
That is a perfect time, because that means you'll be able to get off, have some dinner, and then go and enjoy the festival.
That's exactly.
Is that what you've got planned?
We're staying tonight as well. We're not normally because
trouble.
we've got usually with summer festivals we do a festival and then we maybe have to go to Denmark or somewhere the next day. We have to get on a bus and go. But we're staying the whole night for the whole festival, so we'll get in the mix of the whole thing.
But you performed a Beatles track for us. It's off the White Album. It's its 50th anniversary this year. Why do you think that album has stood the test of time?
I think because it's a double album and it's so musically diverse. You know, you've got bits of music concrete on it, which are avant-garde. You've got beautiful songs like, you know, Piggies, but which have got a really dark undercurrent. You know, it's a social critique on it. You've got so many amazing songs on it. But initially, whenever I first heard it's my favourite Beatles album. But whenever I first heard it, I thought it was a bit too patchy.
Yeah.
But then that's the whole vibe of it. Once you get into the fact the songs are so amazing, and Glass Onion and, you know, Happiness is a Warm Gun, it's just such a stunning piece of work.
It is, isn't it? And I heard that when they were making that album, there was lots of arguing between the band. It was like the album that kind of broke the camel's back. And then they obviously split up a few years after that.
Well, can you imagine that? I mean, the good thing about that is just the creative energy that came out of it. At least the public got a great record out of it.
Do you think you need that? Do you think sometimes you need to have a bit of friction between a band?
I don't think for us personally.
No.
I think we work better when we're all getting on well and we've a good dynamic and we're all on the same page, to be honest. I think creative friction has a shelf life.
Yeah.
You know, you might get a couple of good artistic statements out of it, but for longevity, no, I think that's too much stress, I think.
Yeah.
I sometimes find that quite odd. You know, I've got friends in bands, and when they hate other members of the band, and it's like, when you're on tour and things, you're so close together.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you doing this? It's a bizarre thing to be part of. I think if you're in that scenario, we kind of come away and have a laugh. I don't understand that kind of thing, really.
No. So what we're doing with everyone here today, we want to basically see what's in your pockets. We want to get intimate with you. So can you reveal what's in your pockets, please? Now we're really going to get to know Therapy. Phone, of course. That doesn't count, I'm afraid.
I've got chewing gum.
Good.
And
Two
money.
plectrums.
Nice. A phone.
2 plectrums.
That's so
Is that it?
Catapult,
Chelsea season
Conquer.
Machete.
So is there anything you're willing to give me so that I can maybe give it to the fans a bit later? We're going to do a little competition. So is there anything you're willing to give up? Thank you.
Well, you can't have my phone.
You're not going to give me the Chelsea season ticket?
Get to.
Thank you. You're like, you could have a...
I've got 41p.
Let's take 41p.
Good luck with that.
Amazing. I love that. Okay, well, that will go in the bag for later. Perfect. Thank you. So next year is the band's 30th anniversary. Any plans to mark that occasion?
Well, we should really, but we haven't thought about it.
Well, that's rubbish.
Yeah, I know. Well, see, we've just got a new album out. We only ever work 1 year ahead.
Okay.
And I think that's what's kept us alive.
Yeah.
Because we didn't ever, a lot of bands when we started had big, what they call 5 and 10 year plans, where they saw themselves, and it was all very fashionable in the 90s. But we never had that. We just worked within our limits, one album at a time. So we've got a new album out this year in September called Cleave, and we're going to tour that. And once we've toured everything out of that next year, then we will do something. It'll be great, yeah.
Yeah, you should do something. And of course, I think it's the 25th anniversary of Trouble Gum as well, isn't it, next year?
Yeah.
So you got to do something for that, right?
Well, I mean, we've got no end of shows lined up, but we could do that, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, we need to have a sit down and work out what might be good fun for us and for the fans. Yeah, definitely. Oh, it's well worth celebrating. 30 years.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
And when you that is a long time, isn't it? Can you believe it's been so long? Does it still feel really fresh for you?
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, it's the thing is, it's like it was. I was thinking about the White Album the other day when I knew we were doing this, and I thought, well, whenever, you know, the White Album came along in '68, okay, so that'd be the Trouble Gum. You were saying it's like 30 years old, or 25 years old,
yeah.
right? So that was my God, you know. But whenever we started the band, I was thinking of all the albums that were 25 years old, and it's not that long a time. Because I remember whenever we started, you know, you would look at people like, and to be honest, there was very few rock and roll bands were around that long, you know, because most of them split up. Country artists, light entertainment, you stayed around. But nowadays, rock bands do stay around, so it's okay. But it's gone like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. And maybe it's a naive outlook, but I almost feel like we're still kind of a new band because there's always something new to do, and there's always
You're always
a
quite
different place to play.
reinventing your sound as well. You don't ever put out an album that sounds the same, really.
No,
do you?
we don't really have a formula. You
Yeah.
know, there's a lot of formula bands that are great, like AC/DC or Bad Religion or Motorhead, where it's kind of there's quite a strict template, but ours is quite wide, and I think that keeps it fresh for us,
Yeah.
you know, and hopefully the listeners as well.
And we're talking about when you first came out, you know, it was around the time when Nirvana, obviously grunge was breaking, and you were kind of pigeonholed, weren't you, as part of that?
Yeah, we were. I mean, there's a common misconception because we had already put out some records before
Yeah.
that happened, and I think, you know, we were, because at that time, agitated, angry guitar music was very fashionable, and it was easy. I mean, we had just signed to a major record label, so it was very easy for them to put us in that category because
Yeah.
it meant to get press and to get front covers of magazines. They could go to people and go, well, hey, you know, especially in Europe and the States, they go, well, if you like Nirvana, you might like these guys from Northern Ireland. And it made it, but it was, you know, I think what was good for us is that we knew we already had a good 3-4 years under our belts before that happened. So we knew that whenever the wave had gone, then we'd still be around, you know.
Yeah. Which you are, you know, like we say 30 years later.
Yeah.
Can you remember the first time you heard Nevermind?
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
Well, we were all very lucky. We knew the people, the band. Neil used to be in the band called the Beyond too, and we knew the press people from Nirvana. So we actually heard it about 8 months before it came out.
Oh, okay.
Because we were on a record label called Ouija, and the boss of Ouija Records got us a demo. Because this is how old it is, a cassette. And we had already heard. I mean, we were
Do
already
you still
massive
have
fans
that
of Bleach.
cassette? No.
I don't
Big
even,
mistake.
Kylie, I don't even have half my own records now.
Oh, what?
Honestly, yeah. But no, I remember we all heard it because we were massive fans of them through an album they did called Bleach, which is
Yeah.
the first album, and some of the singles they had in Sub Pop. But the first time we heard it, I mean, I'll be honest, I thought it sounded like Cheap Trick because I'm a big Cheap Trick fan.
Yeah.
And I went, this is brilliant. It sounds like the Police meet Cheap Trick. And
Okay.
none of us, I think, realised it was going to be as huge as it
No.
was.
No, couldn't see it. It was fresh and exciting, but no, you couldn't see what was going to happen, you know.
No.